trauma. It's a word we hear a lot these days, but what does it really mean? Simply put, trauma is an emotional response to a deeply distressing or disturbing event. It's not just about bad things happening, it's about how those events make us feel terrified, helpless, overwhelmed. Trauma is more common than you might think. It doesn't discriminate. It can touch the lives of anyone, anywhere, from childhood abuse and neglect to natural disasters and war. The impact of trauma is often hidden, like a silent wound that festers beneath the surface. People may seem fine on the outside, but inside they're struggling to cope with the invisible scars left behind. Trauma doesn't just disappear with time. It can linger for years, even decades, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in ways we may not even realize. It's time to shed light on this invisible epidemic and understand the profound impact it has on individuals, families, and communities worldwide. Trauma changes us. It leaves an indelible mark on our minds and bodies, altering the way we perceive the world and interact with it. The effects of trauma can be profound and far-reaching, impacting every aspect of our lives. It can rewire our brains, changing the very structure and function of our neural pathways. This rewiring can affect our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways we might not even realize, leaving us in a constant state of alert, always on the lookout for potential threats. This heightened state of vigilance can be exhausting and overwhelming, making it difficult to relax or feel safe, like a soldier on high alert in a war zone. This comparison is not an exaggeration. The brain's response to trauma can be as intense as the experiences faced by those in combat. This fight, flight, or freeze response is our body's natural way of protecting us from danger. It's an ancient survival mechanism that has helped humans endure and overcome threats for millennia. But when we've experienced trauma, this system can get stuck in overdrive. Our bodies and minds remain in a heightened state of arousal, even when there is no immediate danger present. We may find ourselves easily startled, quick to anger, or constantly on edge, even when we're safe. These reactions can strain our relationships and make it difficult to connect with others. Our emotions can feel like a roller coaster, with intense highs and lows that can be hard to manage. One moment we might feel overwhelmed with anxiety, and the next, we might feel completely numb, swinging from anxiety and fear to numbness and despair. This emotional turbulence can make it challenging to maintain a sense of stability and well-being. The world can feel like a scary and unpredictable place filled with potential dangers lurking around every corner. This perception can lead to a pervasive sense of fear and mistrust, making it hard to trust others and form meaningful connections. We might withdraw from social interactions, fearing judgment or rejection, or find joy in everyday life. Activities that once brought us happiness may now feel empty or overwhelming, contributing to feelings of isolation and sadness. Trauma can also disrupt our sleep, appetite, and concentration, leading to physical health problems and making it difficult to perform daily tasks, making it tough to function in our daily lives. Simple activities like grocery shopping or focusing on work can become monumental challenges. It can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms like substance abuse, self-harm, and social isolation. These behaviors are often attempts to numb the pain or regain a sense of control over our lives, as we desperately try to numb the pain and regain a sense of control. Unfortunately, these coping mechanisms can create additional problems and further isolate us from the support we need. It's crucial to remember that these are not signs of weakness. They are natural responses to overwhelming experiences, and acknowledging them is the first step toward healing. They are natural responses to overwhelming experiences. Understanding this can help us be more compassionate with ourselves and others who are struggling. Understanding how trauma affects us is the first step to healing and reclaiming our lives. With the right support and resources, we can learn to navigate the challenges of trauma and find a path to recovery and resilience. Let's meet Sarah. She's a bright and successful woman in her 30s, known for her sharp intellect and professional achievements. Her colleagues admire her for her dedication, and her friends appreciate her for her kindness and generosity. But behind her confident exterior lies a history of childhood abuse. Sarah's childhood was marred by neglect and emotional torment, leaving her with wounds that have yet to heal. The trauma she endured as a child left her with deep emotional scars, affecting her in ways that are not always visible to the outside world. These scars have shaped her personality and her interactions with others, impacting her self-esteem, relationships, and ability to trust others. Sarah often finds herself questioning her worth and doubting her abilities, despite her many accomplishments. Despite her success, Sarah constantly battles feelings of worthlessness and fear of intimacy. She has built walls around her heart, making it difficult for anyone to get close to her. She struggles to maintain healthy relationships and often sabotages herself due to a deep-seated belief that she's undeserving of love and happiness. This belief stems from the negative messages she received during her formative years. Then there's John, a war veteran haunted by the horrors he witnessed during his service. John's life took a drastic turn when he was deployed to a conflict zone, where he faced unimaginable violence and loss. John suffers from PTSD, plagued by nightmares, flashbacks, and panic attacks. These symptoms disrupt his daily life, making it difficult for him to find a sense of normalcy. The trauma he experienced in combat has left him emotionally numb, unable to connect with his own feelings or those of others. This emotional numbness serves as a protective mechanism, shielding him from the pain of his memories. Disconnected from his family and unable to find peace. John's relationships have suffered as a result, with his loved ones feeling helpless and unsure of how to support him. He avoids social situations and struggles to hold down a job, as the stress and anxiety of his condition make it difficult for him to function in a typical work environment. The invisible wounds of war following him home. These wounds are not just psychological but also manifest physically, affecting his overall health and well-being. These are just two examples of the countless faces of trauma. Trauma does not discriminate, it affects people from all walks of life, regardless of their background or circumstances. Every story is unique, but they all share a common thread: the profound and lasting impact of traumatic experiences on individuals' lives. The journey to healing is often long and arduous, requiring immense strength and resilience. By sharing these stories, we hope to shed light on the realities of trauma and encourage empathy and understanding. Together, we can create a supportive environment where those affected by trauma can find the help and compassion they need to heal. Trauma's reach extends far beyond the individual. It is not just a personal struggle but a collective one that reverberates through the fabric of our relationships and communities. It ripples outward, impacting families, communities, and society as a whole. Just as a single drop can create waves in a pond, one person's trauma can send shockwaves through their immediate environment and beyond. When one person experiences trauma, it can create a chain reaction, affecting their interactions with loved ones, co-workers, and even strangers. The emotional turmoil can lead to misunderstandings, arguments, and a breakdown in communication. The emotional baggage of trauma can weigh heavily on relationships, leading to communication breakdowns, conflict, and a lack of intimacy. Partners may find it difficult to connect, friends may drift apart, and family bonds may weaken, and a lack of intimacy. The sense of isolation and disconnection can be profound, leaving individuals feeling alone even when surrounded by others. Children are particularly vulnerable to the effects of trauma. Their developing brains are still learning how to process and cope with difficult emotions, making them especially sensitive to the impact of traumatic experiences. As their developing brains are still learning how to process and cope with difficult emotions, the lack of proper support and understanding can lead to long-term emotional and psychological challenges. Exposure to trauma in childhood can have long-lasting consequences, increasing the risk of mental health issues, substance abuse, and relationship problems later in life. The scars of childhood trauma can persist into adulthood, affecting every aspect of an individual's life, increasing the risk of mental health issues, substance abuse, and relationship problems later in life. The coping mechanisms developed in response to trauma can often be destructive, leading to a cycle of pain and suffering, and relationship problems later in life. Unresolved trauma can manifest in various ways, from emotional instability to difficulties in forming and maintaining healthy relationships. Unresolved trauma can also contribute to societal issues such as violence, poverty, and homelessness. The ripple effect of trauma can extend to the broader community, exacerbating social problems and creating a cycle of disadvantage, poverty, and homelessness. When trauma is not addressed, it can lead to a breakdown in social cohesion, increasing the likelihood of conflict and instability within communities. When individuals don't receive the support they need to heal, their trauma can manifest in destructive ways, perpetuating a cycle of pain and suffering. The lack of adequate mental health resources and support systems can leave individuals feeling hopeless and isolated. Their trauma can manifest in destructive ways, leading to behaviors that harm themselves and others. This can include aggression, self-harm, and other forms of acting out that further alienate them from their support networks. perpetuating a cycle of pain and suffering. The cycle of trauma can be difficult to break, but it is not impossible. With the right support and intervention, individuals can begin to heal and rebuild their lives. It's crucial to recognize that addressing trauma is not just an individual responsibility, it's a societal imperative. By fostering a supportive and understanding community, we can help those affected by trauma to heal and thrive, ultimately creating a more compassionate and resilient society.